All right, it's Monday, September 2nd, just following up on the SPY. I discussed early on how I bought puts here on bar number 3 when the 15-minute chart was kind of prepared to roll over and test the downside, the lows of the day, which it did. I scaled out, set up an hour's trade. I was holding on as we kind of broke through that area, just, with the plan that as long as we were kind of below the open and heading lower on a 2-down, day and a 2-down week, we could be heading to these targets down here. And then price, started an orderly pullback, paused, and then really had a pretty strong burst up. And just knowing the way I look at intraday price structure, although anything's possible, this didn't look like, the continuation that you'd want to see, at least on this day. So then I used an opportunity to exit that trade with a small gain. It was a bigger gain at one point. And then seeing the orderly pullback and then the green bar here, I decided to shift to the buy side, bought some calls, and now as we're coming to the end of the session with about 15 minutes to go, we're going to see if we get to the highs of the day and close this with maybe a green looking reversal bar, which could, follow through tomorrow into this gap here. And then we'll see, on the weekly chart, can this follow through and continue through the halfway point of that prior week. Still not necessarily expecting that. I think this could be a one-day little pause that eventually doesn't really reach some targets above and still rolls over again, but we're going to have to see that on the daily chart now. So just following up on the SPY coming to the end of the session, I bought the puts at 704, scaled out at 8 to set up a no-risk trade, and then I sold the rest at 793. So overall small gain on those puts. I switched to calls here and bought those 630 calls at 1045. They're now asking 1136 right now, so up close to a point, and we'll see how it ends the day and whether or not, if we can close green here, you kind of expect price to kind of try to follow through tomorrow into this gap. But we still haven't hit this target down here. This could just be a temporary little volatility kind of move back to the upside, taking out some liquidity and then rolling over. So a lot will depend tomorrow. Do we hold the midpoint of this bar and then go up? We'll see what the pre-market range is and how price opens, or is this just like a pause that still wants to head lower before it's over? Maybe today it doesn't close that nicely green. Maybe by tomorrow it gaps down. You never know. But at least for now, I could see from this strong burst up here that it wasn't likely, to make a secondary push to the downside today and follow through strongly. So we did gap down. There's a little exhaustion risk to the downside, but definitely strength here. And the key is we're above that yellow line, which is the open of the month and the week and everything else. So quite frankly, if we stay above that, going forward, then you stay to the buy side and we look for potential buy signals. And if we look even at the monthly chart, as I described on the very first video, I think this could be where we just kind of hold the midpoint of this prior month and it's a green month, and eventually we take out those highs and just keep continuing higher. So that's always on the table here. It's not a 2-down month. It was a 2-down week, but maybe we failed to reach our target into this strong buying tail, and we're getting a reversal right out of the gates here on Monday. So we're going to find out, but that's kind of the way I traded the SPY today. We're starting to get to the highs of the day near the close, and we'll see how things go for the tomorrow and for the rest of the week.